So you've done it. You popped out that tiny little SIM card, slid the tray back in, and bam! You're a digital ghost. No carrier connection, no phone number, meaning absolutely zero tracking, right? Well, that's the theory anyway. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to dive deep and figure out if ditching your SIM actually makes you untrackable, or if it's all just a really dangerous illusion.
Because that is the big question here. Are you actually off the grid? Look, you've disconnected from your carrier, sure, but we really need to find out if that makes you truly invisible to the massive, sprawling cellular network that blankets pretty much our entire planet. You know, going SIMless is a hugely popular idea in privacy circles, but I gotta tell you, the reality of it, it's a whole lot more complex, and honestly, way more fascinating than you might think.
This whole debate basically splits people into two totally opposing camps. On one side, you have the believers. They are absolutely convinced that yanking that SIM severs the tracking connection completely. To them, no SIM equals ghost. But then you've got the skeptics. They argue that your phone has this permanent underlying ID, meaning your device is still lighting up the network like a Christmas tree, just without your specific name attached to it. So who's actually right here? Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, the hardware reality. Let's look at that permanent fingerprint. To really grasp the believer's side of the argument, you gotta meet the MSI. That stands for International Mobile Subscriber Identity. This little piece of data is essentially your personal passport on the network. It's the exact thing linking your device straight back to your billing account, your name, and your phone number. So the thinking goes, when you pull out the SIM card, poof, the MSI is gone. You've successfully ripped off your network name tag. As far as the carrier is concerned, you just cease to exist. Sounds like a massive win for the believers, right?
But, man, here is the massive catch. Enter the IMEI, or International Mobile Equipment Identity. Every single phone out there has an IMEI. Think of it exactly like a car's VIN, a totally unique serial number. But here's the crucial detail. It identifies the physical device itself, not you, the subscriber. And this number, it is literally burned into the phone's hardware. You cannot change it, and you certainly can't erase it. It's basically the true ghost in the machine.
Now, to really wrap your head around why that unerasable IMEI is such a big deal, we need to talk about a hidden component buried deep inside your phone. See, your smartphone isn't just one computer. Nope. Hiding underneath your main processor is a second, entirely separate shadow computer known as the baseband modem. This shadow computer is wild. It runs its own completely secret, proprietary operating system that operates entirely beneath Android or iOS. Its one and only mission in life? To constantly, obsessively scan for nearby cell towers. And why on earth does it do that? Well, because laws in most places actually require that your phone must be able to dial emergency services even if you don't have an active SIM. So to make that happen, this baseband modem has to stay awake, continuously pinging nearby towers going, "Hey, I'm here if you need me." And what exactly do you think it uses to identify itself in those pings? Yep, you guessed it, that unremovable IMEI. Which brings us to a really uncomfortable revelation. The network absolutely does not need your name to track your location. You successfully removed your subscriber identity, sure, but you have absolutely not removed your phone's physical presence from the network. The carrier might not know your actual name anymore, but they for sure know that a specific device with a completely unique IMEI number is hanging out right next to a specific tower.
Moving on to Section 2, the software trap. Let's talk about sophisticated tracking.
So hearing all that, you might think you can just outsmart the carriers by avoiding cellular networks altogether. You're probably wondering, okay, what if I just use Wi-Fi? I mean, it seems like the logical next step. If cell towers are the main problem, sticking to Wi-Fi at your house or the local coffee shop seems like a brilliant workaround. No SIM, no cell connection, no problem, right? Yeah, unfortunately not quite. Because relying on Wi-Fi exposes you to the real star of the surveillance show, GMS, otherwise known as Google Mobile Services. To be super clear here, this is not the open source base of Android. GMS is a deeply woven, entirely proprietary software layer that Google slaps on top of Android. It's the stuff that runs your Play Store, pushes your notifications, and manages a whole bunch of background services that are just always awake. They are continuously collecting data and phoning home to Google servers. And the absolute kicker here? It does all of this whether you have a SIM card inserted or not.
GMS pulls this off through a terrifyingly accurate technique called Wi-Fi triangulation. Let's actually walk through how this works, because it's crazy.
Your phone's GMS is constantly, and I mean literally constantly, scanning for every single Wi-Fi network it can physically see. It grabs the unique hardware MAC addresses of your neighbor's router, the coffee shop down the block, the smart TV next door, all of them. Then it bundles up that list and sends it straight to Google servers. There, it cross-references that data with an absolutely massive global map of practically every single Wi-Fi router on the planet. And boom, it pinpoints your exact precise location. No SIM card needed, it doesn't even need GPS.
The crucial takeaway from all this is simple, but yeah, pretty terrifying. Your Wi-Fi is essentially your new SIM card. By leaning on Wi-Fi, you've inadvertently just handed Google a new hyperdynamic fingerprint for your location. That unique mix of Wi-Fi signals floating around you acts just like a fingerprint, which effectively turns your everyday surroundings into a tracking device. You thought you were being so clever getting rid of the SIM, but the software caught you anyway.
Okay, let's get into Section 3, the true privacy blueprint. Building the ultimate defense.
Realizing that the operating system itself is the ultimate gatekeeper of your data naturally leads us to look for an alternative, something that actually respects your privacy. Because the true battle here isn't about that little piece of plastic, it is entirely about the software running the show. When we compare a standard, off-the-shelf phone to a privacy-focused system like Graphene OS, we see a complete reversal in how things are handled. On a standard phone, GMS is deeply woven in. Wi-Fi scanning is always on, and it's hidden from you. Plus, system apps have incredibly easy access to your IMEI. But jump over to Graphene OS, there are absolutely zero Google services by default. That sneaky Wi-Fi scanning is put firmly back under your control, and accessing that permanent IMEI is heavily restricted.
However, we do have to be really clear about something here. Even a custom, hardened system like Graphene OS is essentially just advanced damage control. It's a software cage. It can sandbox the modem to try and severely limit what it does, but it cannot perform actual magic. It cannot physically unplug that baseband modem from the battery. The hardware is still sitting right there inside the device, and it fundamentally still wants to phone home. So think of it as incredibly advanced damage control, rather than some sort of magic silver bullet.
So, for anyone out there who wants the absolute highest level of privacy you can realistically achieve on a modern smartphone today, this specific 6-step blueprint is going to be your best defense. Step 1, you actually want to get a Google Pixel, specifically for its specialized hardware security features. Step 2, flash it and install Graphene OS. Step 3, remove the SIM card entirely, get it out of there. Step 4, keep airplane mode turned on permanently. This is crucial to try and silence that noisy baseband modem. Step 5, use Wi-Fi strictly through a trusted VPN. And finally, Step 6, route all your calls and messages via a secure VoIP app. Put it all together, and it's a really solid, multi-layered digital fortress approach.
And that brings us to Section 4, the final verdict. Myth or reality? All right, we've looked at the hardware fingerprint, and we've pulled back the curtain on that invisible software net. So, is going SIM-less a total myth? Well, not entirely. There is a tangible win here. Removing the SIM successfully severs your billing identity and your traditional phone number. And hey, that is a real, legitimate privacy victory. But believing that popping out a tiny chip makes your location completely invisible, that is a major and honestly dangerous illusion. Even with that extreme digital fortress setup we just talked about, you have really only minimized your footprint. You've made tracking incredibly difficult, sure, but definitely not impossible. Which leaves us with one ultimate lingering question to wrap up this explainer. In a world fundamentally built from the ground up on being constantly, seamlessly connected, is perfect, true invisibility even a realistic goal anymore? I mean, the hardware and software are explicitly, literally designed to talk to each other no matter what you do. It's definitely something to chew on the next time you pick up your phone. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I really hope this deep dive brought you some serious clarity.